Hi, my loves. How are you? I hope that you are doing well today. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for joining us here again today. And I hope that all of you are ready for spooky season. It's that time of year now. I'm very excited. I hope that you are very excited. So today I decided to do a pick a card reading that is all about what your Halloween experience is going to be. Just a quick disclaimer. Obviously, this is a general reading. It's probably not going to apply to everyone. There's a lot of messages for different people. But also, we all have free will. Nothing is ever set in stone. Anything that I say is not law. So just use your discernment, use your critical thinking, and if there's something that you don't like that you hear in the reading, there is always change that can happen. You can always make things change or do things a certain way so that it doesn't happen. This is all for fun. This is all just for good fun and shits and giggles. So I'm very excited. I might have bought a few decks recently. And I got one specifically for this reading because I really wanted to do something very Halloween themed. So that's what we're going to do today. All of the decks that I used today will be linked down below if you are interested in purchasing them. And yeah, I'm really excited, honestly. Before we get into it, if you desire, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like this video and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. Give the video a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you're excited for Halloween. What's your favorite part of Halloween? Or is there anything that you want to do or that you're planning on doing? Are you going to go trick-or-treating? Even if you're like a grown adult, are you going to go to a party? What are you going to do? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, let's get right into it, my loves.
Alrighty, my loves. Today we have 4 piles from which you can choose. The first is lapis lazuli all the way on the left. Next we have an amethyst cluster. We have rose quartz, and then the last pile is the aventurine pendulum. So this is a time to go ahead and close your eyes, take a few deep mindful breaths, and ask your spirit guides and your angels and your ancestors which pile is meant for you. Once you have your answer, you can go ahead to the timestamp that I will provide down below and enjoy your reading.
Hi group 1, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. I'm so excited to be doing this reading for you. I hope that you are. So obviously if you chose this group, you chose the lapis lazuli. So let's get right into it. I'm so excited, oh my gosh. Okay, so we have the 2 of Wands to start your reading off. The 8 of Swords reversed, the High Priestess, and the Page of Pentacles reversed. I like this. So what instantly draws me in is this High Priestess, of course. And it makes sense that for you, group 1, your intuition is going to be skyrocketing. If you have been working on developing your psychic abilities, any of the clairs that you feel that you might have, any sort of intuitive abilities, any sort of just spiritually related things, anything that you have been developing or that you know that you have and you've just been working on, I feel like this Halloween is really the time where that is going to blossom. I really do feel like you're just going to feel so connected. You're going to feel so in tune with the universe and with your angels and with your spirit guides. I feel that the catalyst for this, though, is this sense of liberation that I get with this 8 of Swords reversed. And the catalyst of that is the fact that perhaps for a while you have felt as though you're missing something in your life. Like you have everything materially. Maybe you feel as though you literally have the world, well, not literally, that you have the world in the palm of your hand. Maybe you feel this way. And even though you have the world at the palm of your hand, and even though you have everything that you could ever ask for, there's something that's missing. There's a void within you. And if you have been feeling this way, it's because you're right. There is something missing. Yes, you have everything physically and you have the world in the palm of your hand, but intuitively, emotionally, spiritually, there's something that you're not tuning into. And I think that this Halloween, the days leading up to Halloween, well, this entire month really, the days leading up to Halloween and the days after are a really wonderful time to liberate yourself from this discontentment. Um, with this Two of Wands, I feel like you might have seen other people live out their dreams. And I feel like that's almost what you want to do, is you want to live out your dream, but is there lipstick in my teeth? Sorry. You want to live out your dream, but you're holding yourself back for some reason, whatever the case may be. And it's almost like maybe you're relying a little bit too much on logic, on analytics, on the left side brain of things, rather than allowing yourself to intuitively feel and allow yourself to simply know what you know. It's almost like you kind of rejected your intuitive side, rejected your spiritual gifts, or rejected your psychic abilities or intuitive abilities, whatever you want to call it. It feels like that has been happening for however long that might be, whether it was for your entire life, whether it has been recently, or hasn't even happened yet, whatever the case may be for you. I feel as though there's just this desire for more. And it's not even material things that are giving you that satisfaction. It's a spiritual, emotional thing with this high priestess, like things that are unseen. I feel like you might have pushed away or suppressed your psychic abilities, or maybe you've just been conditioned to do this because of just the society that we live in and things like that. And so now you have to work on digging that back up again. Is that right? I think that's right. Is that grammatically correct? I don't know. But that's what it feels like, is that there's a need to dig it back up. And I feel like once you do, like everything is just going to flourish. And I feel like there's just this connection that you have to the other side. And I feel like you're just going to awaken. I feel like there's just this sense of like you finally see you finally see so clearly now. Some of you maybe have clairvoyance or clairsentience or clairaudience, whatever the case may be. I feel like that is really going to come into play this month, but specifically in October or on Halloween, which makes sense because Halloween is like the day when the veil is the thinnest, supposedly. So that's really, really exciting. I'm very I'm excited for you. And with this Page of Pentacles reversed, I feel like this talks about how maybe some people have been taking advantage of your niceness, if that's so to speak, or just taking advantage of your good heart. And I feel like maybe this may have been a partner of yours with this Two of Wands, a friendship of yours, or a romantic partner of yours. Maybe this person was taking advantage of you, and maybe you didn't really see that, or you didn't want to see that. Perhaps you were in denial of that, or maybe you felt as though you didn't really have any sort of power in terms of that situation with this Eight of Swords. But having this card reversed is telling me that you are going to free yourself of that mindset. You're going to free yourself of this sense of powerlessness or helplessness, and I feel like you are going to find a way intuitively to handle the situation properly. And I feel like your spirit guides are really trying to talk to you this month. I really feel like your angels are trying to talk to you as well. Yeah. I just feel like you're going to be receiving spiritual messages, or your spirit guides and your angels want to send you spiritual messages, in which case you have to open yourself up and release yourself from anything that doesn't serve you. You might even need to release yourself from just mental blockages. So you can do this through meditating, yoga, journaling, any of that sort of stuff. And I mean this very seriously. I don't mean it in a half-hearted way. You have no idea how helpful those things can be in opening yourself up intuitively, spiritually, emotionally, and just in so many aspects of your life. I feel like we really do take advantage or take for granted the impact of meditation and of simply breathing mindfully. I feel that we take for granted. I think I said this in another video, but that's really what I think will help you is the journaling, the meditation, the calling out on your angels, for your angels and your spirit guides to reach out to you, to give you signals, that sort of thing. And I feel like even for some of you need to kind of push yourselves out of the logic-based mindset that it's just not possible, that like spirits aren't real, that the spirit world isn't real, that you can't talk to the dead or whatever the case may be. If you're in the mindset where it's just like strictly physical and that you only believe what you see in front of you, I feel like this Halloween is really the opportunity for you to open yourself up intuitively and spiritually, and to open yourself up to broader things in life, because it's a very narrow mind to just believe that, it's very narrow-minded to believe that there's just nothing else out there. Does that kind of make sense? It's almost along the lines of not believing that aliens are not real and that we're like the only beings in the universe. You know what I mean? So I feel like this Halloween is a really great opportunity for you to open yourself up in that way, to open your mind up and to release any sort of mental blockages. And I feel like with this Page of Pentacles reversed, this can signify someone who has kind of been like lazy, like lackluster, kind of slacking. And so if this has been you in terms of doing the spiritual work, I feel like this Halloween is going to reveal that in a way, or expose that, and I feel like it's going to motivate you to want to do more. It's going to motivate you to want to connect even more to your spiritual side, because I feel like you will be shown or presented certain synchronicities that you're just like, okay, no, like this is, it'll convince you enough to make you curious to know more. And I feel like once you kind of overcome that mental blockage, you'll be able to keep on going, you know? So now let's get into these cards right here. This is my new deck. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is the Halloween Oracle. Again, it'll be linked down below if you're interested. So we have Forgiveness as the first card. Okay. We have Zombie. And it's zombie control, and then that's like the little caption. And then for forgiveness, it says reducing burden. We have scrying, intuition. Skull of darkness, blind spots. Chef's kiss. I love this. I feel like it's just in such deep alignment with the tarot. So crazy. So we have forgiveness, reducing burden. So maybe someone wants to apologize to you this Halloween. Maybe someone wants to reach out to you, or maybe you want to reach out to someone and send them an apology for whatever thing it was. It could be someone that you were friends with, or you were once friends with, or a romantic partner of yours, or just someone that you were once close to, I believe. And I feel like if you have been carrying any sort of burden, if you've been carrying this weight on your shoulders, I feel like this Halloween is a really wonderful time to release that. And this forgiveness card, I also feel really correlates with this Eight of Swords reverse, because it does seem like a sort of burden. Like this mental blockage that you might be experiencing, I feel like it's really kind of weighing you down. It might feel like a burden, and it might feel, you might feel powerless or helpless, and you don't know how to get rid of this weight on your shoulders, or this weight on your heart, this weight on your soul. You've just been thinking like, I don't know what to do, and you've been just feeling so paralyzed by this blockage in your life. And it might have stopped or stunted any sort of progress. And so I feel like with this forgiveness card, this is saying that you need to forgive yourself for carrying all of these burdens. And I feel like this is saying how it's important for you to realize that you were just human, and that you can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. And it's not up to you to do that. It's really not group one. It's not your responsibility. So don't make it your responsibility to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's really not. And so I feel like forgiveness is just saying, I feel like this Halloween is really an opportunity to be gentle with yourself and with others, to be compassionate towards others, to to let go of any sort of resentments that you have towards yourself or towards other people or towards certain situations in your life that just didn't serve you or that were somehow unfavorable to you. It's a time to release things that just don't make you happy, that are, stunting your growth. It's time to let go of any sort of sorrow or disappointment. If you are feeling kind of stuck in the past because of a resentment that you feel towards someone or a situation that happened in the past, this is a reminder to let you know that the past is the past and you can't change it. And, we as humans, we grow so accustomed in living in the past and always regretting things, or, wishing that we could do something better, or wishing that something didn't happen. And when we are in that mindset, we are always living in the past, and we don't allow ourselves to simply enjoy the present moment. And so I feel that with this forgiveness card, it's very important for us to forgive ourselves and to forgive others, or at least if you really just cannot forgive someone, at least let go of the grudge, let go of this like deep anger, so that it doesn't affect you in your everyday life, so that you're not thinking about it, and so that it's not festering within you, because if it's festering within you, then it's not good for you. But if you are able, and if you allow yourself to just let go of the resentment, you don't have to forgive this person, but just let go of all of this anger. Let go of whatever feelings that made you feel really bad about yourself or about a situation. Do that. If you have that opportunity, do that. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to reach out to them if you don't want to. If you feel like there's just no point, I understand. You don't always have to forgive them, but forgive yourself for holding on to the grudge, because holding on to a grudge or holding on to resentment, that hurts you. It's internally, it does, because it turns all of the light within you kind of dark and kind of murky, and that's not good for us. And so take the time to forgive yourself and to treat yourself, to take care of yourself, to pamper yourself, to do some self-care, so that you at least don't have to be angry every single day and always reminded of the situation, So next we have zombie control. And I really love this because I feel like this really, really resonates again with the Eight of Swords. This to me, I read the guidebook earlier just to kind of like get an idea of what this signifies. And I remember reading how this kind of says like feeling like you're not in control of your body. Like you're present. You can witness everything, but you feel like you're not in control of your body. Whether it's because people are telling you what to do and you're just like kind of listening to them for fear of perhaps rejection or for fear of creating conflict. But I feel like with this card, this is saying how sometimes we feel out of control of our lives and we feel like there's nothing that we can do. And it's like we're just watching everything and there's nothing that we can do. And I feel that with both of these cards, I think that for this Halloween, it's important to forgive yourself for not being in control of a situation, or for not taking action in some sort of way, but also perhaps forgiving people who were a bit controlling towards you. If there were partnerships that were a little bit controlling, a little bit suffocating in some way, maybe it's time to forgive that person. Again, you don't have to. But if it helps you in your growth, then why not, And I feel like with this zombie card, this also talks about how... I'm trying to remember what it said in the guidebook. I'm so sorry. I also just feel like it says... I think it asks us to evaluate parts in our lives where we feel we absolutely have to have control. And I think it's important to evaluate how much control we have in a situation and if we are being over-controlling in a situation. And evaluate if people are being controlling towards us and not letting us have a say in a discussion, not letting us have a voice. Evaluate where you might not had might not have had a voice or a say or even a little bit of control in some sort of situation. I want to, because I feel like there's something else that I'm missing in this card. And I really want to, okay. So on the last paragraph it says, do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equal so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that. And that's what it is. So controlling partners, right? Maybe some of us are the controlling partners. And maybe that is something that we need to liberate ourselves from. But maybe we are in partnerships. And the Two of Wands signifies partnership. So it goes very well with the whole reading. Maybe we are in partnerships that are very controlling. And we're just not happy in them. And maybe this Halloween will reveal that to you, or in the days leading up to it, or after. We will realize that we are trapped or chained down in this relationship, or just not fulfilled in any sort of way. And I feel like some of us, if you are dealing with a situation where the partnership, whatever sort of partnership this is, doesn't have to be strictly romantic. Whatever partnership or relationship that this is, maybe you have a deep knowing that you're just not happy in this and that it's just not working out for you, right? But maybe you haven't put in the work to actually free yourself. And, you know, this isn't to say that you are to blame. This isn't at all a blame thing. I don't believe in blaming, you know, the person who feels out of control, because we all feel out of control at one point in our lives, and it can be difficult to gain control for many, many reasons. So this isn't a blame thing. I'm not trying to blame you or point the finger. That's not what I'm doing. But maybe we have, especially with this Eight of Swords reversed, maybe we have really convinced ourselves, or we have been convinced that we are powerless and that we are helpless. And because of that, we haven't put any sort of work. We haven't planted any seeds to grow and to leave the situation, for whatever reason that might be, right? And so I think that with this Halloween and the days leading up and the days after, we will, I think, find ways to take action. And I feel that we will find ways to reclaim our power and to reclaim our control. I feel like intuitively we'll know what to do eventually. Like, I think that our spirit guides will tell us, you know? And so, forgiveness and zombie. This is saying, forgive yourself for enduring the situation for so long. But also, if it's in your heart to do so, forgive the other person for being that way. Obviously, that's a complex issue, and I'm not gonna, like, do what is best for you, okay? Okay. And so we have scrying, intuition, which just goes so well with this High Priestess card. I really do feel like intuition is just gonna be so out there with this Halloween for you, Group 1. I really, really, really do. And I feel like with this intuition, you are going to be able to see your blind spots. I feel like if you have been in denial about a situation, if you have been in denial of the fact that you have been in a controlling relationship, whatever relationship this might be, or if you have been in denial that you were the one controlling and being overly controlling, this is a really great opportunity. This Halloween is a really great opportunity for you to acknowledge this. And I feel like going within and kind of introspecting and reflecting on the whole situation is really going to help you realize a lot of things about yourself. In whatever aspect, whatever caliber or level that might be for you. There's a level of just understanding and acceptance, I believe. I feel like we're going to realize kind of like our weak spots, our weaknesses. We're going to see a lot of our weaknesses, and we're going to learn from that. And I feel like we're going to learn to find ways to strengthen those weak spots, to strengthen and to be more aware of our blind spots so that we don't find ourselves in denial, so that we don't find ourselves in situations where we're just not being our best selves, you know? But I really do feel like psychic ability is just like through the roof. I really, really do. And we have the full moon here. So I know that we have a full moon in Aries. I'm scratching my foot. I know that we have a full moon in Aries coming up on October 13th. Unfortunately, not Friday the 13th. However, October 13th. And for some of you, there might be something that happens on this full moon. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's something that has to do with control, like control issues that come up for you this Aries full moon on October 13th. Some sort of control issue. Or maybe it's like an accumulation of energy where everything kind of just like pops off for you. And it's almost like, for some of you, this full moon, this Aries full moon is going to help you awaken. And it's going to help you awaken from the dead, essentially. It's going to help you awaken from like this slumber and like this state that you've been in of like motionless or of like powerlessness or helplessness or like paralysis, if you will. I feel like you're going to be like reinvigorated with all of this energy. Like it's a burst of energy. And I feel like that's really going to help you start taking action and taking initiative and making a lot of realizations. So that's cool. And then here we have a lot of cards. So we have dream talk. Your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's just one of the many ways in which your soul and those here in the spirit world can reach out and communicate with you through signs, symbols, messages, and more. So I really do feel like, again, intuition is going to be a huge thing. Pay attention to your dreams, journal your dreams. Like whenever you watch this video, if you haven't been doing it yet, start journaling your dreams, writing down everything that you can remember from your dreams and drawing any patterns that you see, okay? I really do feel like your spirit guides, your angels, whatever benevolent entities are like looking out for you, I really feel like they're trying to talk to you. And I feel like there's a lot going on in your subconscious that's really going to help you. We have nature. This is a time to absorb the healing properties that nature has to offer. Your mind, body, and soul need nourishment, energy, revitalization, and strength. Nature has much to offer, so take this time to connect and spend some quality time outdoors. Okay, so some of you might need to go out in nature. Some of you might need to meditate. I feel like meditating in nature will be really helpful to you. Maybe go to the beach, spend the day at the beach, take a walk along the beach, go to the woods. Maybe this Halloween, some of you will end up going to the woods. Maybe you'll go camping. Maybe you will go out in nature in some way. Maybe you'll meditate in the woods or something along those lines. Maybe you go on some sort of retreat. But I feel like, maybe you're going out in nature with this Halloween, okay? Butterflies might be of importance to you because I see butterflies. So maybe butterflies are of importance to you. I really do feel like you're going to find some sort of key, some sort of important information in your dreams. Like there's a key thing that you're going to find in your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, okay? I really do feel like you're going to have a lot of synchronicities. Again, symbols, signs, messages, whatever it is, like keep note of that. We have gratitude. Life is one big, continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. If you focus on gratitude, you'll start to attract prosperity and abundance. So I feel like this really, I honestly have this I feel like this kind of ties with this forgiveness card. Once you are able to forgive yourself and let go of, or forgive yourself or forgive others and just like let go of the icky stuff, you'll be in a state of gratitude and that will attract a lot more towards you. And I feel like when you're in a state of gratitude, your intuition will skyrocket even more. And I also feel like with this gratitude card and the zombie card, I feel like this is saying, be grateful for the situation. It might not have been favorable, but it taught you something, Like, I think this is kind of saying or encouraging you to take it as a teaching moment. and try to find, I guess, the silver lining, or is that the thing? Is that the phrase? Try to find the overall lesson in all of this, and what can you take away from the situation. And then we have breathe. The breath is the vital bridge between your body and soul. It is the connection between the inside and the outside, connecting you to the universe, spirit, and the divine source. The breath permeates your entire being with prana, which is the same life-giving force that nourishes everything in the universe. Yes. So, take a few deep breaths this Halloween. If you were ever feeling anxious this Halloween, if you were ever feeling like you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling suffocated, if you're feeling claustrophobic, please remind yourself to breathe, okay? It's in times where we feel trapped, in times where we feel paralyzed, we have to remind ourselves to breathe, to calm down our minds, to reach a state of bliss, or as little bliss as we can, or as much bliss as we can. Obviously, that's a lot easier said than done, but I think it's important for us to remind ourselves and to be mindful of breathing, of taking in breath, and reminding ourselves to just continue that cycle, and inhale all of the good and exhale all of the things that we need to release, okay? Taking deep breaths in nature, and taking in fresh air, going out for a walk, like I said, and being grateful for our surroundings, for the trees, or for your shelter, or for your car if you have one, or for your education, or being grateful for the clothes on your back, or being grateful for the shoes on which that you walk on, or that you walk with. Being grateful even for like small things, and like breathing that in. I really feel like once you are able to detach yourself a little bit from the chaos of everyday life, because I know it's a difficult I know that's kind of a difficult thing to do. But once we are able to just be in our own bodies and be present in our own bodies, that is when we are able to just take everything in and be grateful for it. And when we are able to be grateful for it, we attract a lot more beauty and prosperity and success into our life. Anyways, and then we have soul solitude. Your soul needs attention. There are moments when it's important to get away, not just from the noise of the outside world, but to find a place where your soul can experience peace and quiet. A place for soul solitude. This is a time to pause, a time to reflect, a time for you. So Halloween is definitely more of a time of introspecting. I would say that, for the most part, if you chose group 1, I don't necessarily see you going out and partying, although you very well could. I feel like what would be more beneficial to you is to kind of stay in and reflect, meditate, journal, take time for yourself, take control of your own reality, rather than kind of like handing it to someone else, or rather than someone kind of just like taking it from you. Reclaim your power and reclaim your control, and I feel that the best way to do that is to be on your own and realize how powerful of a being that you are. And I feel like, maybe there might be people who try to like encourage you to come out and be like, hey, like, come on, let's go, you're gonna have a lot of fun. I feel like it's important for you to kind of just be on your own this Halloween, and to, like I said, reflect, and to do all of those things that I said throughout this entire video. But yes, that is how I see your Halloween experience going this year. Let me know if it resonates with you. Obviously, I'm uploading this a little bit early, but, if you're watching this on Halloween, and if you're at home, chilling, let me know if it resonates. And with that being said, my love, I will talk to you soon. Please drink some water, take care of yourselves, meditate, practice some yoga, journal, and be grateful. But with that being said, I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi, group two. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the amethyst. I love this crystal so much. And you can tell, like, I don't have many crystals because I'm always rotating. Like, I'm always using the same ones all the time. But that is okay. That is all right. So let's just go ahead and get started with your reading, my loves. So we have the Two of Cups reversed. To start off your reading, we have the Seven of Wands, we have the Two of Swords reversed, and then we have the Knight of Wands reversed. This is very interesting, and I thought it was really cool because we have two twos here. We have the Two of Cups and the Two of Swords reversed. So the number 2 might be significant to you for this this Halloween, or you might have been seeing this number a lot throughout the month of October. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting comfortable. Okay, so we have the Two of Cups reversed. This, to me, can signify some sort of breakup, whether it's like a friendship breakup or a relationship breakup or some sort of separation between people, and it's kind of like sad. It's kind of like it doesn't feel very happy. So for some of you this Halloween, it may signify that there is some sort of like argument or some sort of divide between you and another person, however that might manifest for you. So that's, this isn't to say that that this is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone, okay? And again, this isn't going to resonate with everyone. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this can signify some sort of breakup, but it's more so of like a separation. It's a severing of a connection in some sort of way. And I'll get further into what I mean by this, because there are some cards that just make it, and it makes more sense later. So there's some sort of separation between you and another person, or it can also signify a lack of reflection. But whatever this is, I feel like it's going to make you or the other person or both of you kind of feel really overwhelmed and like you don't really know what to do. You might feel like you're just fighting to keep this person in your life, or you just feel like the world is kind of just against you and you don't know what to do, and it's kind of like anxiety inducing almost. It feels like this Halloween it might be a little bit overwhelming for you. I'm not gonna lie. And again, if that is not what you want, you can definitely absolutely change it, and nothing is set in stone. But with the Seven of Wands, it just feels like you're kind of the underdog, and it might feel like you are lost in this world, or that there isn't many options for you, or that you might feel sorry. I thought I said I saw something. But with the Seven of Wands, it's just like you feel like the underdog, and you feel like you just have all of this opposition, and it's almost like no one really supports you. Maybe you feel as though like you don't have a very supportive group of people in your life anymore. It might feel like you're just arguing with these people, or just like they're just back and forth and they're just not listening to you. But I also feel like with the Seven of Wands, this is more kind of, for some of you, this could just be an internal thing where you just feel like the world is kind of against you, and that no matter what sort of effort you make, you're just being pushed down and pushed down. However, with that being said, I want to emphasize that with the Seven of Wands, this is all about resilience. And this is, I think, definitely a test of your resilience to see how far you can make it and how far you are willing to go without giving up. I feel like with the Seven of Wands, this is really kind of just saying, yes, there might be some sort of obstacles that you face this Halloween or in the days leading up to it or in the days after, but that doesn't mean that you just give up at the blink of an eye. That doesn't mean that you just give up when things get very hard. That doesn't mean that you just give up when it feels like too much or when it feels overwhelming. Those are the times when you continue pushing and pushing and pushing, and you build up resilience and you build up endurance. So you might feel discouraged, but I very much encourage you to keep on going, even when it feels like there is no positive outcome. I promise you there will be a positive outcome to this. It might feel like you are just alone in this world, but you must keep on pushing, okay? You might feel, maybe some of you might feel as though like a friend of yours is just kind of against you, or kind of just arguing or picking a fight with you. In which case, don't let that discourage you. Don't let that push you from victory or from greatness or success or whatever it is. Just keep on pushing this Halloween, honestly. Really. Keep on pushing this Halloween. And with this Two of Swords reverse, this talks about like denial. Maybe some of you are in denial about something. Maybe some of you are in denial about the end of a friendship or the end of, I don't know, some sort of partnership in your life. That maybe there's a reality that you just don't want to face. Maybe there is responsibility that you don't want to take. Because by acknowledging that and by taking responsibility for yourself, that means that you have to make a change. And sometimes we don't like to make change, you know? And so maybe that is the thing. And with the Knight of Wands reversed, again, there's just this sense of wanting to run away. There's this sense of retreating. There's this sense of kind of being passive almost. It's just because having the Knight of Wands upright, this to me is, this would signify someone being independent, someone going their own way, someone who is their own leader. They don't like to be told what to do. They do things on their own, and they do things based off of their own rules and their own expectations. They don't care about what other people think or what other people want. They just follow what they want. This person is very passionate, and this person is unstoppable. This person is unstoppable. And so having this Knight of Wands reversed is just like running away. Like following other people's orders, being really passive. I just see a lot of running away. I really do. That's what it seems to me. Like a lack of confidence, not really believing in yourself, feeling incompetent, feeling like you can't overcome this. And it makes sense because for some of you, there might be a little bit of a friction or tension that you face this Halloween. And, you know, that might discourage you and you might want to run away. You might want to avoid the confrontation. But I would really discourage you from that. So let's get into more of the cards. So we have eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So for some of you, for some reason I get like soulmate with this. I kind of get soulmate with this, like soulmate sort of stuff. And I really want to emphasize, like, actually, I'll do that in a minute. But with the eternal love and the Two of Cups reversed, this kind of feels like that this isn't really, like, whatever bickering that happens, or, like, argument that takes place, or, like, disharmony or tension that happens in some sort of relationship, whether it's platonic or not, I feel like it's not really going to last very long. Like, I feel like it's going to be water under the bridge in no time. I don't think that it's going to be that major of a setback, I guess you could say, or not major of an issue. Like, it's just going to be like a fight. It might feel like a very real fight, and it might feel as though you have lost everything or that you have lost this friendship, but I really don't feel like it's going to be that monumental. It might feel very dramatic, and there might be some sort of miscommunication, because we have to keep in mind that on Halloween, Mercury is going retrograde, and Mercury is going to be in Scorpio. So having Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is going to lead to miscommunication, it's going to lead to confusion, it's going to lead to people jumping to conclusions, going to the extreme, and thinking that that's right, and like being confused about like what is right and what is wrong, being very paranoid. So I feel like it's important to let that sort of like paranoia or like suspicions or like jumping to conclusions, you know, to be mindful of that. So I feel like it's not really going to be like that long of a breakup or like that long of a separation in some sort of way. However, I want to disclaim, if you are in a relationship and it's just this toxic, unhealthy cycle of like going back and forth, arguing every single day, like tearing each other down, or the other person is tearing you down, and just really unhealthy things, that's not love. That is not eternal love. That's like not a soulmate. That's not a twin flame, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay? Don't use the excuse of, oh, this person is my twin flame, so I have to stay with them forever. Like, this relationship is meant for me, and, you know, like, I have to stay with this person even though they're really fucking toxic or abusive. No. I understand that we like to be under the illusion that this person is meant for us, but someone who does not treat you with the utmost respect does not deserve you. And that is not a healthy relationship. And if you have been minimizing the behavior or the, I guess, energy of the relationship as a way to convince yourself that you are meant to be with this person, I think that it is time for you to face the reality of the situation, because you might be in denial. And that might, listen, this might not even apply to anyone who's watching this, but I'm just saying, because I think it's important for me to say. I don't want people to think that the back and forth of arguing all of the time, or the other behaviors that are not healthy that can take place in a relationship sometimes. I don't want that. I don't want them to think that it's not a big deal, or that it was just a one-time thing, or whatever. I feel like most of you know what I'm talking about, and I hope that you can understand what I'm talking about and comprehend what I'm trying to say. But I think that's just, it's important for me to say that if you are in that type of relationship, whether it's like platonic or romantic, whatever it is, it's not healthy. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Whatever. If there's the constant, if the relationship genuinely just isn't healthy, and if there are trust issues all over the place, and there's just so much jealousy and control issues, whatever it is, and if that's a common theme in this relationship, something has to be addressed. So, disclaimer. So there's that. But for the other part of this group, for group 2, you will be victorious, because with the 7 of Wands, this is the underdog, and this is someone who, they get what they want. Like, you'll get through it. You're gonna be victorious eventually, one way or another. Like, everything is gonna, eventually is gonna be smooth sailing for some of you. Okay. And then we have Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities. If I'll be honest, I completely forgot what this means. Skull of Light, Illumination. Also forgot. And then we have Joy, Rejoicing in the Present. So I'm actually going to read for Skull of Stars and the Skull of Light, because I, honest to God, do not remember anything. And I would like to give some sort of insight into this. Skull of Light. Okay, so we have Skull of Stars. I'm only going to read like a part of it. This card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. They may even be imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather incongruent to you. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul to live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. Okay, so this to me is saying how there is a lot more for you to explore in life, and I feel like that's why we have this 2 of Cups, where it's like you might have different viewpoints from someone in your life, and you might not agree, and you might have some sort of a disagreement or an argument, and there might be some sort of separation, but for some of you that might be for the better, because maybe this person is being restrictive in some way in your life. They're kind of stunting your growth. And I feel like with this 2 of Swords reversed, this is the limitation where, you have tunnel vision and you need to expand your mind. You need to do things differently and kind of just like stop fighting against it. I feel like some of you, need to assert your independence and go your own way and follow your own path rather than following the path that is expected of you, rather than following the path that people think is right. Because if you're not happy, I feel like some of you might not even be happy with whatever situation that you're in. And it's important that you do not narrow yourself down and think, okay, this is the one way that I have to live my life. This is, like I'm just bound to this way of life and I can't change it now. No, you can always change things. You can always change your future. If there's another path that you want to follow, then do it. There's nothing stopping you other than yourself and whatever. Like, do something different and don't let loved ones hold you back, especially if you want to pursue something different. If you are like on a pursuit of knowledge or wisdom or whatever, don't let a relationship or don't let a person hold you back from that, So that might be a theme that comes up to you this Halloween. It's important for you to start just think big, man. Don't narrow yourself down. Be open to possibilities. There are infinite possibilities that you can explore, okay? Just like it says, infinite possibilities. Don't narrow yourself. Don't have that tunnel vision to just that one thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's more that you can do, okay? So, what is this? The stars. Okay. Is there anything else that I wanted to say from this? So the card indicates you need to go in. I think that's it. So now we have a skull of light. And it says, should the skull of light enter your life, know that it is time to open yourself fully to the clarity of bright illumination. Allow yourself to be seen, to see, and to act upon what is shown to you. The time is past for hiding, for pretending, and for swallowing our discomfort by accepting the status quo when it doesn't really suit us. This to me really much also speaks of the Two of Swords reversed, where we want to be in denial of a situation, or we kind of just like don't really want to say anything. We want to turn our cheek the other way and act like it doesn't happen. Maybe some of us have been dealing with situations where we're not happy in a certain relationship, or there are certain things that other people in our lives have been doing that we're not happy with, that make us uncomfortable, that don't really help us in any sort of way, that kind of hurt us actually, but we haven't really spoken up about it because we don't want to make a big deal out of it. We don't want the conflict. And I feel that this Halloween is kind of a great time. Not only is it actually going to illuminate those problems and encourage you to talk about it, but I feel like it's just a great time to reflect on the whole thing and to just speak up for yourself. Even if it's against someone who you really love or who really loves you, it doesn't matter if they have good intentions. If they're hurting you in some way, or if they are just being mean or nasty in some way, like, you have to speak up and not just kind of be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. This person, like, I know that they don't have bad intentions, so it doesn't matter. No, you have to set boundaries. You have to be open to speak your truth. And I feel like this illumination card is just going to reveal a lot of truths for you. I feel like you're just going to have some sort of realization, because you might have been so blinded and so narrow-minded for so long that whatever comes to light is really going to make an impact for you. And I feel like there are a lot of truths that you are going to have to acknowledge, and you won't have any more time to run away. I feel like some of you may have been fighting against finding out the truth. Like, you want to be in denial. Like, you just don't want to have to face the reality of the situation. And it almost feels like maybe other people have been trying to tell you, but you have been pushing them away. And anyone who kind of goes against that, you've just been like, anyone who like tries to reveal some sort of truth to you, or tries to tell you the truth of a situation, or the truth about yourself even, it feels like you're just pushing it away and you're putting on your blindfold, like it's going in one ear and out the other, or you just don't want to hear them at all. So if that's the case, I feel like Halloween is kind of going to be that time where you can't run away from it anymore, and like you're gonna have to face the truth. But we also have joy, rejoicing in the present. For some of you, Halloween might just be a lot of fun for you. You might, be really excited, and It's so funny because the girl's face is so serious, and I just feel like it's so contradictory to what the card is supposed to mean. And I feel like when I see this card, I just see someone who is trying to be happy, but they're really not into it. They don't like feel that happiness. They don't feel the spirit of the holiday. They don't feel the spirit of like just being really excited. And I feel like it has a lot to do with like internal work and a lot of stuff that is just going on internally. And like, maybe some of you are trying to be happy for other people, but on the inside, you're just like not feeling it. So that might be something that comes up for you this Halloween. Okay. So we have, this one honestly kind of touched my heart, but we have a mother's love. And it says, a mother's love is reaching out to you at this time and holding you close. She knows how much you miss her and wants to remind you that this special bond of love can never be broken. So that was really sweet. If you have lost a mother figure in your life or a nurturing figure in your life, whether it was a sister or a really close friend of yours who was just feminine or just creative in some sort of way, or even an actual mother, if this person has literally passed, first I want to say I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry that it has felt hard for you. If it has, if it's felt hard for you, and if it feels like you're no longer grounded, because it feels like maybe your mom or this person in your life was very grounding for you and they gave you a sense of reassurance. They are reaching out to you from the other side, in the days leading up to Halloween or on the day of or days after. They're reaching out to you and letting you know that they're there with you and that you're not alone and that they are always there and that you can always reach out to them and talk to them, if you ever need a sign from them, if you ever need their comfort, their guidance, or just their presence. Ask for that and they will give it to you, whether it is through some sort of significant object that you shared between one another, or a symbol or a message or a sign. I feel like this Halloween is they're going to try to reach out to you, and I feel like with this eternal love card, I feel like that's saying that even though they're not here physically, it doesn't mean that they're not here at all. Um, they're definitely here, and they will always be with you. And I feel like in the next life, they will be with you because they're your soul family. And so, even though physically you are separated, um, spiritually you're not. And ooh, there's a fly. Spiritually, you're not separated. So that's just a little reassurance or reminder for you if you have suffered the loss of someone in your life who cared a lot for you, someone who was like a mother figure, maybe even a grandmother to you. They're reaching out to you and they're letting you know that they're there. We have embrace the moment. Embrace this today, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you are changing your energy. So yes, there's a lot of change here, and some of you might be a little bit resistant to the change that is going on in your life, and you might be in denial of it. But it's important for you to embrace the truth, to embrace the change, to embrace the moment, so that you are not just stuck in this tunnel for the rest of your life, you know? And then we have hope. Your loved ones in the spirit world know when to reach out if they see you're at a low point. Whether you're caught up in a difficult situation or struggling with someone specifically in your life, there is always hope. I'm gonna cry. I really do think that a loved one wants to reach out to you. Maybe you have been in denial of this person reaching out, or you haven't been wanting to accept it because it's just too hard to accept. Maybe you have just been avoiding any sort of contact with them from the spirit world because it's just a little bit too much for you to handle, which I understand, and take your time. But this message is just to let you know that they're there and they love you, and yeah, like they love you. And I feel like there is hope in this situation, whatever situation this might ultimately be. There is hope, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep on going. Like I said earlier, you just have to keep on going, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And then we have a father's love. A father's love for his son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable, in that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason, whether your father is still here or has passed. A father's love is one of the strongest bonds any of us will ever experience. So maybe some of you need to reach out to your dad this Halloween. Maybe Halloween is like a special thing that you have to, between you guys, or I don't know. It's similar to the mother message in terms of like if your father figure has passed, or some sort of like providing figure in your life has passed, or again, older brother, older sibling. Again, doesn't have to be. It's not restricted to just girl or boy. It's anyone. If you need to reach out to them spiritually, do it. You're encouraged to do so. And this is also saying, like, they'll always be with you. Your parents, like, if some of you have lost both of your parents, and if they're no longer here with us, again, I'm sorry for your loss. But if you have lost them, they're always there. And they will always guide you. And they will always be there with you. And they will always love you so unconditionally. No matter what has happened in the physical realm, they will always love you. And it's just an eternal love. And I feel like this is also saying how, like, they're together in the spirit worlds, you know? And they're good. And they love you. So, yeah. And last card, we have Cleanse. Your body, mind, and soul are urging you to take time out for much-needed cleansing. Just as you wash your car, clean the house, or tidy your office, your body also needs care and attention. It's time for some spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. So Halloween is a really great time for you to do that. Take a bath, pamper yourself, journal, reflect, meditate, and take off your blindfold. Definitely take off your blindfold this Halloween and take time for yourself. Okay? So that is all that I have for you, Group 2. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I know it's going to be a little bit until Halloween. If you see this before Halloween, you know, just be mindful of these things. And when Halloween comes around, and if anything, you know, comes into fruition, let me know. And if there's any other feedback that you want to provide, let me know in the comments down below. Give the video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So, with that being said, I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, everyone. How are you? Maybe I should say Group 3. Hi, Group 3. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. I'm very excited for this little reading for you. I hope that it resonates. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the rose quartz. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get into the tarot first, and then we'll do the other cards. All right, so we have the Chariot reversed. I don't know if you are a Cancer or have Cancer placements, or if there is a Cancer in your life, but maybe you are going out with a Cancer this Halloween season. The Chariot reversed, or the Chariot in general, can also signify cars. Like travel in some sort of way. But this to me would be like a car. So Maybe some of you are trying to travel or you want to travel this Halloween, but having the card reversed kind of signifies like malfunctions with the car or with traveling in general, which makes sense because on Halloween night, Mercury is going to go retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, and Mercury is all about like short distance travel and things of that nature. And like cars, I'm pretty sure it has to do with cars, like travel. I think so. So that's one thing. With Mercury going into retrograde, that kind of leads to like technological malfunctions in some sort of way, whether it's with like a car, whether it is with like a plane, or like even just like your phone. It's like miscommunications and things like that with other things, but that's kind of like what comes through. And then we have the 10 of Cups, which to me gives me the vibe of like camping. I don't know if like you want to go camping or if you have decided to go camping for Halloween, but that's kind of what it seems like. We have the Tower reversed and we have the 3 of Pentacles. So for some of you on Halloween, I feel like some of you might end up going camping. Like I said, maybe you're going with your family or with close friends or loved ones in general. And I see that you guys maybe are going like to have a fire, right? Or maybe you guys are just going to have a bonfire at the beach with friends, right? Like having a little party on Halloween night with a bonfire at the beach. I would be careful of that, just because of any sort of trouble that you could possibly get in, especially with the Tower reversed. This to me, for some reason, I get the feeling that some of you might need to be careful of like lighting any fires that are too big for you to handle. Like literally, like if you're gonna have a bonfire, for example, just be safe and take any precautions that you need so as to avoid any sort of problems that you might have, whether it's with the actual fire or with like law enforcement or something. Just be careful of being safe and taking precautions as needed. I also feel like, again, if you are going camping, make sure that the gas in the car is full. Make sure that you have a spare tire. Make sure that you have everything that you need or that you could possibly need, or as much as that you can have. In terms of like making sure that your car is okay, like if you need an oil change, I would suggest doing that before you end up going traveling or end up going camping, especially in a remote location where you might not have service immediately. So if there's anything that has to do with like cars, where like I said, if you're traveling to like the woods, in the middle of woods, and you might not have the greatest of service there, make sure that your car is well equipped. Make sure that you are well equipped with everything that you need when you do, and if and when you do end up going camping with these people. Make sure that, like you have like walkie-talkies, you have food, like make sure that you have everything. But specifically, I feel like there might be an issue with the car, so make sure it has gas, make sure that the oil is changed, that everything is good, make sure that the engine is okay, and make sure that you have a spare tire. Make sure that you have like equipment or tools, whatever that you need in case anything happens. For example, maybe like a tire goes flat or something. Make sure that on Halloween, like you are good, that you have everything that you need. But also with the Chariot reverse, this can signify that you're way too distracted by the outside world and you're not, focusing a lot on your inner world. You're just feeling kind of just like all over the place, right? Which makes sense. Again, Mercury retrograde. You're not having a little bit of a hard time focusing. And so I think it's important that you are just extra clear with your intentions. You're extra clear as to what you are planning. You're extra clear as to what everyone is doing and, like the role that you're playing in all of this, that sort of thing. So that's one thing, to make sure that you are focused. Try not to get so distracted, or be mindful of when you are getting distracted so that you can, veer back on track. With this 3 of Pentacles, maybe you're going out with 3 people or whatever the case might, or maybe this is like with the 3 of Pentacles, this is like teamwork. This is collaboration. This is partnership. So for some of you, maybe this signifies that it's important that communication is very clear between you and other people, and that, all of you are just focused and not distracted. And that all of you are kind of working towards the same goal. make sure that you, like, for if you're like going out partying or something where there's like a lot of people, make sure that you're being safe. Like I said, that you're being safe, that you're having a safe night, that you are taking any precautions that you need to take. Make sure to stay away from like any sort of like fire or anything like that, or like a fire hazard. And this isn't to like scare you or anything, but this is more so just like to be mindful, and like as it's a precaution. I'm not saying it as like this is absolutely going to happen, because it might not happen. So that's just something to just be, just be mindful. There's nothing wrong, in being mindful and making sure that everything is okay and that you are okay and that sort of thing, and just being aware. Because with this tower reverse, this can signify kind of like a warning that was kind of ignored. So if there was a warning that you ignored, perhaps from like your own intuition, where you feel as though something, might not go right, or, you just have a feeling that you should take extra precaution or just do something, that you should do something specifically, then do that. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut. If your gut is telling you something, follow that, okay? But yeah, I would say be careful of be careful of fire, really. Be careful of being focused while you're driving. Be very careful as to like not get into like a little fender bender or anything like that. Just be aware, be mindful, stay focused. Don't allow yourself to get so distracted on Halloween, because I know that, with all the people and, like partying and everything like that, you can get a little bit distracted. You want to have a good time. I understand, but it's always good to be mindful, to be aware, so as to not get into anything that, could potentially go wrong or whatever. So yeah, so far that's what I have. So let's get into these cards over here. So we have Cauldron, Synergy and Healing. We have Vampire, Emotional Intelligence. We have Barnbrack, Sweetness and Synergy. So again with the whole synergy thing. And then Night Song, Hidden Talents. Okay, so we have Cauldron, Synergy and Healing. So this is basically kind of saying like, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Make sure that, this to me, especially like with the whole car thing or the traveling thing or whatever, is like, make sure that you're not just putting everything in one place, I guess you could say, or like leaving everything in one place, or like leaving something with like one person specifically. Make sure that things are kind of like spread out in a way, so that if you need access to it, you don't have to go to like a specific person or a specific place, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know exactly how to explain this, but it's like, okay, for example, this is a very extreme example, but it's like the best thing that I could think of. Like, let's say you're driving on a thing, right? And okay, better example. Let's say you're driving and you end up parking, right? And you leave the car, but then you find out that you left the keys in the car, and now the car is locked, and like your phone is in the car, and everything that you need is literally within the car, right? So, like, don't put everything in that one place. Make sure that you have things on you or on your friends, or, like, with other friends or other people, so that you're not, like, restricted to a certain situation, if that kind of makes sense. Don't put all of your eggs in just one basket. Make sure that things are kind of, like, spread out, that you have everything, and just overall be mindful, be aware, double check, triple check that, like, you have your car keys, that you have your phone, that you have everything that you need, so as to avoid those sort of situations, Yeah, that's like the best way that I can really describe this, is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Make sure to like mix everything around, and to, all of that. Yeah. And also, I have Vampire. So for some reason, I feel called to associate this with the Tower reversed. For some of you, I feel like you might have been warned in the past about an energy vampire in your friend group, especially with the Three of Pentacles here. In your friend group or your social group or even at work, maybe you have been warned about this person who is kind of an energy vampire, but you just didn't really listen to it. Having these two cards together kind of tells me that this is like just more of a warning, and to just be mindful that of anyone who is draining you of your energy or who is just taking more than they are giving, who is kind of a leech. And also with this cauldron, I feel like this is also saying for some of you, like, make sure that you're not putting all of your energy into one person, and make sure that, you know, someone isn't just make sure that you're not giving all of your energy into someone, especially when they are not reciprocating that energy. If they are just taking and taking and taking, it's not fair for you to give them all of your energy. You know, disperse your energy a little bit. Give yourself your own energy. Take care of yourself first, and put your energy into other things rather into just this one person, because it just feels like they could potentially be draining you, whether you realize it or not. And I feel for some of you, maybe you are that energy vampire, and that is just like something to be aware of. You know, this isn't me like pointing the finger, but, you know, just be aware of taking up someone else's energy. Be aware of whether you are, you know, helping someone as much as they are helping you, or giving someone time as much as they're giving you time. It's that sort of thing. It has to be a mutual reciprocation sort of thing. It has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. But I feel on Halloween night, you might just overall discover, or I guess realize, that there just might be an energy vampire in your life that you might just need to get rid of, or just someone who has gotten a little bit too close to you, who just isn't that good for you, you know? So there's that. We have Barnbrack, which, if I recall, so from what I remember is that, oh, I remember this. Okay. So for some of you, this can signify that it's important for you it's important for you to live in the present, especially with this Chariot reversed. Maybe some of you are like stuck in the past, or maybe some of you could either be stuck in the past and like wanting to go back, wanting to retreat into your own shell, or others of you are trying to rush into the future. You're trying to foresee certain things. You're trying to like rush into something. You're like being a little bit impulsive. And just kind of being very scattered. In that case, Barnbrack is kind of saying how it's important that, you know, you are allowing yourself to live in the moment, to live in the present, and not be so distracted by the past or the future, but to just live in the now. You know, it's important that you enjoy the moments that you have and that you share with your loved ones, with your friends, with your family, with, you know, enjoy these memories that you are creating, and don't kind of just put yourself in this mindset of like, oh, like, what's going to happen next, or just like thinking of all of your regrets from the past, or whatever the case may be. Allow yourself to be present, allow yourself to enjoy the moment, to enjoy this experience that you are having and that you will have on Halloween. Because I do feel that your relationship with other people is kind of going to be emphasized for you, Group 3. I really feel like your collaboration and your teamwork with other people is really going to bring you all together. And I think that through teamwork, you are able to create a more harmonious environment on Halloween night, or the days leading up to it, or the days after. And I feel like through this teamwork, you'll be able to avoid certain, I guess, inconveniences that could possibly come about because of the whole Mercury retrograde that is coming up, and that will happen on Halloween day or Halloween night. I don't remember exactly what time, but on Halloween. So, yeah. For some reason, with this Three of Pentacles, I feel like some of you might like actually go trick or treating, which is like exciting and it's fun. I kind of see you like competing. It's like a friendly competition between you and like your friends or whatever, to see how much candy you're able to get, which is funny and cool. Oh, also with the Chariot reversed, make sure that you know where you are. Like, be aware of like the turns that you are making. Like, for example, if you're in a neighborhood that you're not familiar with, make sure that you know, are like, you have your phone charged so that you have like your GPS or whatever. Like, just make sure that you're not getting lost because of like being distracted and things like that. And don't go into any place, or I would encourage you not to go into any place that you're just not familiar with, or if like going into anywhere that you're not familiar with, specifically if you are going alone. Make sure that you're just like surrounded with people that you trust. Just to avoid like anything that could potentially happen. And this isn't to scare you, but it's just like precautions. I don't want this to be like some sort of like anxiety inducing thing where, like, stay in your home and don't do anything. No, like, have a good time, but just be aware, be mindful. And then we have Night Song, Hidden Talents. Well, this is really interesting. So you might discover some sort of hidden talent that you have. I'm actually really curious. I kind of want to see, like, what hidden talent is this? Yeah, like I said, some of you might be discovering this hidden talent, and I think it will be mostly emphasized when you're around other people and when you are focused and when you are very much in the present. So what is this hidden talent that group three has? Ooh, okay, so the Empress. This is all about creation. This is all about creating your own reality. This is about manifesting. So this, to me, is just saying, like, how you're just really great at manifesting, how you're really great at creating certain events or just certain things. This is just like a master creator in a sense. It's a lot of like Taurus energy with the Empress. It's like, it's Venusian energy. So your hidden talent could also just be that you're really good at socializing, at bringing people together, at having a community, building a community with other people, bringing people who are kind of like part of different social groups that normally wouldn't talk to each other together, and having a harmonious time with all of them. That could be your hidden talent. And having the Hierophant, again, this is like Taurus Capricorn energy, so it's just like earth energy, and I really like that. I really feel like some of you are just really good at bringing people together, and I feel like that's really going to be emphasized this Halloween, which is awesome. But also, like I said, it's just like creative energy and nurturing energy, very fertile energy. I love this. For some reason, I have like the image of like the fairy godmother. I feel like some of you just like know how to make your wishes come true. Like, you're a fairy godmother to some people, or even to yourself. Or you could also just be a very nurturing person, very motherly. You know how to take care of people. You make sure that everyone is okay. In which case, it's important for you not to put so much of your energy and care into other people. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that people don't take advantage of you, whether it's intentional or not. Make sense? Okay. So next, we have Be Proud. It's time to celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you have achieved and be proud. I love this. So this Halloween, you might have achieved something, or, maybe you're celebrating something. Maybe some of you guys are just going out and partying. And, let's say, for example, I think midterms, because midterms are coming up. I don't know if midterms have already finished or if they're starting or whatever it is. But if midterms are like coming up for you, and if like you, for example, if you get a really great grade, take the Halloween time to celebrate that, celebrate your accomplishments or whatever it is that you have accomplished. Use Halloween as an excuse to just celebrate, to have a good time, spend time with your family, spend time with your loved ones. I really do feel like it's a really great time to just be around people, that you love. And I love that. And we have intuitive nudges. Intuition is the language of the soul. We are all born aware with a profound sense of inner knowing. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we possess, which keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and to our divine spirit. So, like I said earlier, if you ever feel like a gut feeling about something, even if it's something really small. Like even if it's about a stranger or about like a certain road that you take to go camping or whatever, and if your intuition is telling you to follow a different path, do that. Honestly, like listen to your intuition this Halloween. I feel like you will not regret it if you listen to your intuition. I really encourage you to listen to your intuition because it's doing that for a reason, okay? Listen to your gut instinct. Listen to your instincts, okay? Especially listen to your instincts about a certain person, you know, like if there's someone in your life who you just get bad vibes from, and you know, even though they might seem like very charming and mysterious and everyone loves them, but if you get a bad vibe from them, stay away from them, honestly. And then we have stand your ground. Standing your ground is an empowering, confidence building action to take from time to time. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing so, you will be the victor. So, yes, I love this. Especially with this Tower card reverse, where it's like you might be trying to avoid conflict, whether it's within the social scene or whatever the case may be, or even with this energy vampire who's just taking and taking and taking. Whatever the case may be, it's important that you stand your ground, that you stand up for yourself, that you set up your boundaries, and you show people that you are not one to mess with, that you are your own individual, you cannot be manipulated, you cannot be taken advantage of. Like, you are not the one. You're really not. And so if anyone tries it with you on Halloween or the days leading up to it or the days a few days after, stand up for yourself and be confident in your stance. Do not falter from your stance. Otherwise, they will see that they can persuade you, that you're really not like about what you mean, things like that. So just something to be mindful of. And then we have relationships. Relationships are just a mirror of images of your own life. How you feel and treat yourself, as well as how you react and respond to different situations and people around you. Be aware that every relationship is an opportunity for soul growth. So for some of you, this relationship with this energy vampire ultimately could have like teach you something. Not to say that you deserve this relationship, especially if this person is like draining you. I'm not saying that. But, use it as a lesson. Like, what can you learn from the situation? And also, use the people around you. Like, even just like your regular friends and family. Use them as a mirror. And find what you can see. Like, see what is in them that is also in you. And reflect on that. And use this as a time to grow to grow in general, not even from any sort of situation, but to grow in general. Use them as a mirror. Look at them and see what traits do they have that you have within yourself that maybe you don't realize that you have or haven't acknowledged that you have, or whatever it is. Use your relationship as a mirror. And see, if that reflects as to how you treat yourself or how you treat others. I feel like it's a really wonderful time to do the reflecting this week. And if you get into any argument, look at the people who might be blaming you for something, or who might be, I don't know, accusing you of something, and look at them and reflect and see what is in them that is also in you. And, kind of detach yourself from your own ego and find a way to look at the situation objectively rather than through your ego. Does that make sense? Especially if there's like a lot of people, around, and with this chariot reverse, this can signify like people distracting you in the sense that you're losing your focus because you're like trying to please everyone else around you. So again, if you're trying to please everyone around you, if you're trying to make other people happy, stand your ground as saying that you need to finally do what makes you happy. You need to do what you have been wanting to do for so long, rather than kind of just like avoiding the conflict. Because I feel like this situation with these other people trying to tell you what to do, whether it is with good or bad intention, that it's draining you. And so just be mindful of that. And then we have listen. You have to be willing to listen if you want to really understand someone. Now is not the time to be offering advice, but to be a compassionate listener. To listen fully and intently means to pay attention, not to just what Not to just what's being said, but to listen to what lies beneath the words. Yes. And maybe for some of you, that is your hidden talent. Maybe for some of you, you're just a really wonderful listener. And maybe that is something that has to be used this Halloween, is just listening to people. But with that being said, listen to people, but don't let them drain you, okay? Don't let them drain you. If you don't have the emotional or mental or physical, spiritual capacity to listen to other people, let them know that you're not in it right now. And if they try to guilt trip you, oh shit, my bad. I'm so sorry. Someone messaged me. But I'm gonna use those text messages as confirmation as to what I said. Make sure that you are standing your ground, and that if you don't have the capacity to listen to other people and give them your energy, then don't. Give yourself the energy and make time for yourself, because I do feel that you're going to be surrounded by a lot of people, by a lot of energy on Halloween and the days leading up and the days leading after. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself and that you are listening to your intuition and intuitively listening to your own body and your own needs, okay? And not just kind of ignoring them and saying, well, other people need my help. No, at the end of the day, they are adults, they can talk to other people, or they can talk to them, they can do what they need to do on their own. They don't specifically need you all of the time to help them. So that is something to be aware of for you this Halloween group 3, okay? I really hope that you enjoy this. This is the end of the video. Or the end of the reading for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below. I know that I'm posting this a little bit early and whatnot, but whenever you watch this or whatever, let me know. Let me know all of your feedback, if it resonates, and all of those things. And honestly, just have a good time on Halloween. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Eat foods. Don't eat too much candy. And yeah, that's all that I have for you, my loves. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi, Group 4. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. I'm so excited for this reading. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the Aventurine Pendulum. So let's just go right ahead into your reading. So we have the King of Swords to start off. Could be dealing with an air sign, or maybe it's you. The 8 of Cups reversed, the 7 of Cups, and the Ace of Cups reversed. Okay, so there's a lot of emotions. There are a lot of emotions coming up for you, Group 4. It seems as though some of you might be feeling emotionally depleted on Halloween, which is unfortunate. Yes, I feel like some of you might be trying to ignore your emotions and trying to think logically with this King of Swords. You could be trying to think logically, analytically, trying to be very calculative as to what to do, trying not to attach yourself to anything or to anyone. Sorry. Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. You might be just being very analytical, using your intellect, using your mind rather than your heart, which could be a little bit of an issue for some of you. And we have the 8 of Cups reversed, which talks about an inability or a refusal to walk away from something. So I don't know if you're having a hard time walking away from a certain situation or from someone, or if someone is or if you are walking away from someone and they're having a hard time processing and digesting this. Because from what I see with this 8 of Cups, I'll do it upright. There's someone with a red cape. And here he had, it's more it's a red cape. I think it's more a purple, but it has red here. So to me, it's almost this King of Swords is walking away from this 8 of Cups woman here, whether it's you or another person who is walking away. And it seems as though there's a difficulty in moving forward from the situation, or letting go. There's a difficulty in releasing and letting go. And it's almost like someone is under the illusion that everything will be okay. It's almost like they're still under this fantasy. They're still living this fantasy that everything is going to be okay, or that, you know, that they're happy or something. Or maybe this King of Swords is walking away from this person in from this woman in the Eight of Cups, because they're just so caught up in their illusions or in a fantasy, or, you know, they're just like not being realistic. They're not being practical. They're not being pragmatic. And that could be an issue for the King of Swords, because the King of Swords is all about analytics. It's all about the mind. It's all about like the tangible almost, or it's just like logic, right? Like cold logic. And so there could be an issue, like this sort of conflict between logic and illusion and fantasy, and like dreaming and wish fulfillment, or whatever. Like not even wish fulfillment, but like wishing for something more, wishing for something better. Maybe some of you will find yourselves wishing for something better, or feeling really confused, or like feeling really foggy and not really knowing how to move on from a certain situation, because there's just so many options to choose from almost. And it feels like maybe some of you are kind of like living on cloud 9, or trying to live on cloud 9, because you don't want to face the reality of the situation, which is emotional depletion and some sort of situation that has come to an end. I want to clarify, actually. I want to clarify this King of Swords, I guess. Yeah, who is this King of Swords? What is this King of Swords energy here for group 4? Oh, quick, there was 2 cards that fell out. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Swords. Yeah, that has to do with transition. This definitely has to do with transition for some of you. Okay, so 3 cards fell out. We have the Devil reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so rejection. This is rejection, and feeling like being emotionally immature about some sort of rejection, but it's also just rejection in general, or someone like rescinding an offer. Maybe there's a King of Swords who is like just rescinding some sort of offer, like they're kind of over it and they're walking away. It's almost like it's almost like they gave you some sort of ultimatum, or this King of Swords was like this King of Swords gave you a time frame to make some sort of decision, and you were too late to make that decision, and so now they're walking away, but now you're out here in the dust, like left here in the dust, not really knowing what to do, feeling emotionally depleted, hoping to somehow mend the situation, I guess you could say. And I'm saying you, but you know, the roles can be reversed. Reverse the roles however way you need to make it resonate. But that's kind of what it feels like. And with the Devil, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. Yeah, the King of Swords always feels like Aquarius, Capricorn energy to me. It always feels like Saturnian energy. So there could be a lot of Saturnian energy, a lot of like seriousness surrounding the situation, or just someone who's just really serious. Someone very serious, austere, like stoic almost. And having the Devil reversed signifies like release, like a need for release, a need for liberation. Like no longer falling into temptation. It could be that maybe this person was tempted in going back with you and like giving you another chance, or maybe you were tempted in giving someone else another chance, but it just seems like things just aren't really working out, and you have to use logic rather than listening to your heart, because it doesn't really seem like your heart is guiding you in the best way that it can. And we have the Sun, so maybe this is like a situation that is involving children, or like surrounds children in some sort of way. But this could also just be to me like that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and like this is like the it's almost like this had to happen, or like this situation had to end so things could start looking up, essentially. That's kind of like what it feels like. You could also be dealing with the Leo with that Sun card, or a water sign with the Knight of Cups reversed. I want to clarify this 7 of Cups. So what is this 7 of Cups? This confusion or illusion, or superficiality. What is this here? there is this, okay. Pisces card came out. Could be dealing with a Pisces. But this is illusion, because the Hanged Man is Neptune. And that's illusions. That's illusion, that's confusion, and that definitely fits with the Seven of Cups. I feel like some of you might be having a little bit of a hard time walking away from temptation. And maybe this temptation is this King of Swords. Maybe this person, like, this temptation to you is someone who is just, like, emotionally detached, you know, it doesn't really show you much interest, or just very serious, very stoic. They're just focusing on themselves or their career. Could be someone very intelligent. Someone very smart, like smart, borderline genius, almost. It's almost like some of you kind of fantasize having this person in your life, but they're just, like, not really sticking around. Like, I feel like it's almost like they're not really showing you that much interest. It doesn't seem like they're showing you that much interest, and they're either rejecting your offers, or they're just not into it. Like, they're not. I feel like this King of Swords just isn't reciprocating or something, but it just seems like there's a lot of Neptunian energy, because with the Seven of Cups, I always associate the Seven of Cups with Pisces energy, because it's just all illusion. It's all, like, confusion. It's all fogginess. It's hard to decipher what is real and what is not real. And with the Hanged Man, that's, like I said, that's Neptunian energy. That's Pisces energy. And I feel like with this Halloween, you might feel very confused, and you might feel like you don't really know what to do. You might feel really emotionally depleted. Maybe you feel even jealous of other people, because you see that they are happy, or because you see that they are living the fantasy that you want to live. And there's kind of like this victim complex going on here for some of you, Group 4, and this difficulty in walking away from this mindset. And I think that it's important for you to kind of look at things a little bit more realistically, practically, pragmatically. Look at things more through an intellectual lens rather than, I guess, a heartfelt lens or a rose-tinted lens, because I feel like that's kind of what is getting you in trouble, so to speak. And I feel like this is kind of like this is a habit or a behavior or a pattern that you were very used to. Like, this is something that is, like, second nature to you. Like, you grew up with this almost. And so I think with this Halloween, it's important for you to grow out of that, I guess you could say, and do something differently. Like, there's a new perspective that you have to gain. It could also be that some of you just need to follow a new path, or a more spiritually inclined path with this Hanged Man. Because the life that you were living, it could be that some of you, maybe you feel as though you have everything, in the sense that, you know, you could, you have all of these options, but none of them are actually not all of that fulfilling, especially with this Ace of Cups reversed. It's like, no matter how many options you have, it's just not emotionally fulfilling for you. And I feel like the only way for you to feel emotionally fulfilled is to follow a more spiritual path with this Hanged Man. And to follow a path of, like, enlightenment, so to speak. And I feel like that will help you to move forward in your life and to transition into a better phase of your life, into a better stage in your life. So, next we have trick or treat, mischief and play. So again, the whole illusion thing, maybe there is someone who is saying that they are one thing, but really they are another. So it's important for you to use discernment. It's important for you not to allow yourself to be sold a pipe dream. Again, be realistic, be pragmatic, be practical. Look at things from a very objective lens. And with this King of Swords, it could be that they are it could be that this King of Swords is kind of playing you, whether it's an air sign or not. It feels like this person is kind of playing you in a way, and they're very aware of that. And so it's important for you to use your discernment and critical thinking so as to not be tricked by this person. And then we have a skull of flowers creating through the ashes. So this to me is kind of saying like create a better reality for yourself. I don't remember. I always forget like what I mean. I literally just got this deck yesterday, so I do not remember what this means. Because I looked at all of the skulls to see what they meant because I didn't really understand what they meant. So I'll look into that in a minute. And then we have Black Cat, Fortune Meets Opportunity, like this. So this to me is kind of saying like how luck is on your side, and like the universe is kind of working on your side. And like I feel that at the end of the day, things will kind of work out in your favor. But it's important that you use your discernment so as to not miss out on that opportunity. And it's important that you make the right choice and not just choose a thing that is shiny and pretty. Again, use your discernment and critical thinking so you don't end up kind of like emotionally depleted or empty in some sort of way. And then we have spider, community, and web weaving. It kind of feels like here that someone could be like making this whole situation a little bit more complicated than it needs to be when the reality is very simple. And it makes sense because there's like this whole illusion thing going on here with the Seven of Cups. And like as long as the illusion is not shattered, it's going to feel like there's just so much to be felt, I guess you could say. And it also feels like there's kind of a plan behind this. Like someone is definitely like weaving a complicated web to confuse you and to kind of trick you. That's really kind of what it feels. So just like be mindful of that. Be very aware, be practical, make sure that you're like, you know, not being sold a pipe dream or like, you know, not taking any sort of like scammy sort of deal on Halloween. You know, like if someone is like doing like trying to sell you something for like a really cheap price that seems really good, too good to be true, you know, use your discernment and critical thinking because, you know, this person might just be planning out to take advantage of you in some sort of way and like stick you to their web so that you can't leave at that, you know? And maybe that is why this Eight of Cups is here, like having a hard time leaving the situation where it's like this person might have created a web so complex and so large that you got stuck to it and now you don't know how to leave, you don't know how to escape, and this person kind of likes it like that. So that's just something to be aware of. Don't get into any sort of situation so quickly that you're like not thinking it through. Like don't go into something without thinking it through, without planning, okay? Especially with this Halloween and with the Mercury retrograde, don't go into something blindly. Use your discernment, your critical thinking, because you might end up being disappointed if you do something impulsively. It could also be that some of you just might be spending time with your community this Halloween, which is really nice. You know, like spending time with like your neighbors, going trick-or-treating, or being the one who is giving out the candy. Whatever the case might be. And if you happen to see a black cat, that's good luck. That's definitely good luck for you. So let's look into skull flowers because I have no idea what that means. Okay, so it says, it illustrates that there is a sureness and yet a rawness to creating again, to starting afresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. The Skull of Flowers celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but an energy of success in full bloom through adversity. I like that. So there is some sort of situation ending, right? Because we have the Eight of Cups reversed, but some of you could be resisting that ending. You don't want it to end, or you're having a hard time letting go of it. Maybe you're having a hard time letting go of resentment or a grievance of some sort, or whatever the case might be for you. And so this kind of seems like the death card, like it's a Scorpio card, and it makes sense because it's Scorpio season. There's a sort of transformation that has to take place in order for you to be able to start creating again, in order for you to start feeling emotionally fulfilled again, because it doesn't seem like you feel all that fulfilled, or that you haven't been feeling very fulfilled. And so if you want something different, there has to be this death rebirth sort of situation that takes place with you, where you're rising from the ashes, and you use those ashes, or you use your past self as a way to create a better and new reality, so to speak. And I feel like that is going to work out very much in your favor. Again, with this trick or treat card, with the mischief and play, make sure not to just like fall for anyone who is like, yes, like I can make your dreams come true, and give you the thing that seems too good to be true. Be careful of that. Be careful of like this fake offer. Be careful of a fake offer, because I feel like someone or something might disguise itself as a blessing when in reality it's not. So just be wary of, just be mindful of that, because there is an opportunity here. There is a good opportunity, but I feel like there's something that's going to come before that, that's going to be a little too good to be true. That is like the trick. It's the trick before you can get the treat. So that's just something to be mindful of for you with this Halloween season. And then we have vulnerability. This is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory, where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back, or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. So again, if some of you need to go through some sort of change, some of you need to walk away from something, but you're struggling to do that because you were so familiar with it and you don't know anything outside of that. Whether it's a person that you don't know anything outside of that person, or that relationship, or that situation, or that job. I feel like it's okay for you to be vulnerable, and I feel like once you allow yourself to take that leap, you'll be able to create a better reality for yourself, and you'll be able to transform, go through a death rebirth sort of situation. And then we have take a moment, stop. Now is not the time to rush into decisions you're about to make. Now is not the time to rush into the decision that you're about to make. Before this important decision is made, take a moment to pause and quiet your mind so that you can ask your soul for guidance before you act or move forward. Like I said, don't go to anything blindly. Don't go into anything blindly. Make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Read between the lines. Read the fine print. Because you might get caught in a web that you did not want to be caught in. And then we have ground yourself. Being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient are all signs that you're ungrounded. Now is the time to become centered and allow Spirit to help you ground yourself and reconnect with the divine source. So this is going to help you in being present and in being able to discern what is real and what is not real. Self-sabotage. When you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. I like this. Don't let yourself get in your own way. Don't let yourself be your own worst enemy. Especially once things start looking good and like you intuitively know that it's a good opportunity and that there's no BS behind it. That's the time when it's important for you to take that risk. And the self-sabotage might come about in the sense that you could be aware that there is some sort of trick that is coming about, and you might have a little bit of a hard time discerning, or you might start overthinking whether it's too good to be true or whether this is actually meant to happen, in which case it's important that's why it's important to ground yourself and to speak with your soul and to connect with your higher self, with your angels and your spirit guides, so that you know the answer and so that you can be able to discern what is real and what is not. And then we have soul power. Always remember, you are a soul that comes with a body, not a body that comes with a soul. Your soul is your true essence, and you have an unlimited supply of soul power at your command whenever you need it. So that's that. So I really hope that this resonates with you, Group 4. Let me know in the comments down below all of your feedback, any of your feedback that you would like to let me know. Please stay safe for Halloween. Make sure that you're okay, that you're taking precautions as needed, and that you're having a good time as well. So yeah, with that being said, give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below. If you are interested in getting any of these decks, the links will be down below. What else? If you want to find me on social media, you can do so at Sinfulpluto on Twitter and Instagram. And with that being said, happy Halloween, happy spooky season. I hope that you have a wonderful, 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 happy Halloween season. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.